Hello and welcome yet again on another afternoon and evening for those of us who are in Kenya, South Africa. It's great to meet you yet again. And on today's session, we get to introduce blockchain and cryptocurrencies to all the newbies here. And this is actually one of the key topics in terms of getting to understand cryptocurrencies. You need to first go through the blockchain part. My name is Monene Mathendo. I lead marketing at Bitgets Africa, and joined with me over to Marvelous.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
A good day
A
wherever
good day
you
wherever
are.
you are.
Good afternoon in
Good afternoon in
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
I think good evening in
Good evening in
Kenya.
Kenya.
And welcome to Africa. Whatever that's
What's
here
about to go
today.
here today?
So my name is
My name is
Marvelous.
Marvelous.
I'm the head of
I'm
social
the head
media
of social media
community
community
Bitget
for
Africa.
Bitget Africa.
I'm so glad to have you
I'm so glad to have you here
And
today.
also we have
And
like a very
also
formative
we have like a
comes at
very
the end of
formative
time.
that comes at the end of time.
The quiz will be about everything
The
we talk
quiz
about
will be
yet.
about everything
So
we talk
please
about
stay
yet.
tuned
So please stay
and
tuned
be active.
and be active.
And towards the end of the session, we're going to pose the quiz. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks so much, Marvelous. And today we should be joined on the by moderators as well. And this is the first time we're streaming live on Bitgate Africa Live. So for you to be able to access some of these sessions, please ensure you're following Bitgate Africa. Simply just put it on your follow list down on the comments below. If you're watching us from YouTube, this is your time to actually, press that subscribe button for you to be able to see us again. Now, on today's session, it's going to be very short. For those of us who are used to our hour-long sessions, on this session, we aim to introduce blockchain. We are also going to take a look at what blockchains are and how do they actually work. We have also looking at how blocks are formed, transactions, and how they're actually put together, and why the name blockchain. We're also going to look at a general overview of cryptocurrencies, look at Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency, look at Bitcoin mining, and this should be able to cover you in terms of understanding what mining is all about, and looking at different types of blockchain wallets, looking at crypto wallets, from software wallets to hardware wallets. Take a look at paper wallets, then understanding private keys and public keys. We're also going to look at different types of blockchains based off consensus mechanism. And yeah, we do understand that you already heard the word consensus, which might sound big. However, it's gonna be very, very easy in terms of understanding these. And look at custodial versus non-custodial solutions. And after that, we are going to set up a real Bitgate account as one of the custodial solutions, and also going to set up Bitgate wallets as one of the non-custodial options that you have. Later on, look at blockchain use cases, and you should be able to learn a lot from this particular session. Now, without further ado, let's get started by looking at blockchain basics. Now, these aims to try and help you understand what blockchains are, basically a general understanding of this. Now, to get started, let's talk about blockchains, what blockchains are. So essentially, blockchains are databases, right? It can store all sorts of digital data, but unlike your traditional conventional databases, blockchain is actually made up of multiple copies of a specific database. So in other words, if you're in a network, or to simplify it, think about it as a shared digital record of data, right? It can store and verifies information in a very secure way, all right? It can also basically, data is added by many people, not just one central person. So this is what we call decentralized. Data is added in a decentralized manner, right? Now, in terms of once the data is added, that information cannot be changed whatsoever. So once data is added, that information may not be changed whatsoever. So everyone can actually see the data, and basically it makes these particular data very transparent. And you know, we also do use rules, which we will call later on consensus mechanisms, to actually agree on who and what gets added. So that's the key thing when it comes to blockchains. Now, let's take a look at more information here. As we said, it's a shared database used by many people. Think about this graphic that you see here. Ideally, each of these particular person holds their own records. Those think about it as a block of rather made up of connected blocks of data. So whatever you see here, think about it as some transactions batched together to create this block of connected data. So it works just like a digital notebook. It's just like a ledger, and can store money records, can hold documents, but above that can actually hold any type of digital data, and it's built to be secure and hard to change. So in other words, this is actually tamper proof, ensures that whatever has been written cannot be changed. So that's a very, very key important idea when you're interacting in a trustless manner. So just more details around it. On blockchains, there's no need for participants to actually trust each other. Why? Because everyone can see and check the records, and all balances and transactions are actually shared and verified. So if someone tries to cheat the system actually spots it and ignores the false data. In fact, the system removes the actor who's trying to cheat the system. So it's very extremely secure. Now I'll move on to show you how the blockchains are actually, rather how the transactions are actually presented. So picture this: you have one particular transaction here, and the transaction can actually represent the transfer of value or data on the blockchain. So this can be literally anything. So it can be that NFT image that you're moving from one place to another. It can be an agreement that you've come up together with. It can literally be anything that you can be able to sort of like transfer on the blockchain. So this transaction is taken together and grouped into a block of transactions. So this block of transactions is put together into what we call a block. Okay, so this block is what now from this particular block, you can see each of the blocks are actually connected together. Now, one thing I didn't mention is at the start of and at the end of each transaction, you will have something we call an index, which basically references the first and the last parts of that particular transaction. So ideally, on this particular index, it's what helps you to know which transaction was preceding the other transaction. And this is basically what makes it a connected block of transactions, inside these blocks, a connected block of transactions, which makes this blockchain. Basically, each of these block of transactions is connected to the next block and in a chain format, and that's why we have the name blockchain. Now, I'll move on to get started on what cryptocurrencies are. Now, in a nutshell, cryptocurrencies are simply a digital form of money. They do operate in a peer-to-peer model, in that there's no centralized party who actually gets to have the transactions, right? So it's secured through cryptography and exists in a borderless and accessible globally. So cryptocurrencies can also not be duplicated or destroyed. So once the cryptocurrencies are created, no one can destroy them, right? No one can actually duplicate the cryptocurrencies. So, and since this is actually put in terms of rather protected by the security of blockchain, and as we saw that as in terms of the security side, Once transactions are added, they cannot be removed, they cannot be edited. So blockchains are actually tamper-proof, which makes cryptocurrency transactions, once they are made, they actually cannot be edited. Now, let's get to see an example of a cryptocurrency. And in this case, we will be benchmarking Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, and it's a cryptocurrency because it's a digital form of money. Bitcoin actually operates in a peer-to-peer model, something we just looked at it in terms of the key characteristics that make a cryptocurrency. So the fact that it operates in a peer-to-peer model and operates in a P2P network and in a decentralized and distributed manner. It's also protected by cryptography and has a limited supply of 21 million coins. That means Bitcoin is actually a very scarce asset. We have already mined about more than 19.6 million Bitcoins, which means we only have less than 5%, less than 10% of Bitcoins remaining to be mined. Now, Bitcoin exists in a borderless and manner and is accessible globally. It cannot be duplicated or destroyed, and it's very, very transparent. Something you can be able to see through what we call blockchain explorers. And this shows all transactions recorded on the public ledger. So Bitcoin is also open source, meaning that anyone can actually verify and contribute to the code, and is censorship resistant in that no actual central authority, no government, no one can actually block or reverse transactions. This is a key detail simply because in the traditional side, especially from a business point of view, a good number of people still experience chargebacks, which is not very progressive, especially looking at from a business point of view. People may end up losing funds simply because transactions can be reversed after they've been made, right? So this is one of the important aspects about cryptocurrencies, simply because they make your transactions final. Now, what is Bitcoin mining? I want us to think of mining like a race to solve a really hard puzzle. Okay, so miners are just like students trying to solve a math challenge. So they collect the recent transactions by simply picking up worksheets, basically picking up worksheets, and then they try to find a correct answer, basically a solution that fits in the puzzle. The first one to get it right gets rewarded, just as winning a prize as a student. So the worksheet, in this case, the block of transactions, is added to the class notebook, in this case, what we call the blockchain, right? Now, what's the reward for becoming a miner? You get new Bitcoin. So these are like newly printed certificates. We just said Bitcoin is scarce. You might ask, where is the new Bitcoin coming in? As we said, there's slightly above 19.6 million Bitcoins. So every 4 years, basically Bitcoins are being produced, for every block of transactions being added. So these transactions give you access to anytime a miner completes an equation, there's the mining process, they get those newly allocated Bitcoins. They also get new tips, which are basically the transaction fees from the users. Now, of importance, every 4 years, we have something called halving. So every 4 years, the price, think of it as the price of each Bitcoin gets cut in half. And this ensures, or rather keeps, Bitcoin valuable by limiting how much is actually created. So over time, less and less Bitcoins are being awarded as free tokens. So this is very important because this is one of the things that makes Bitcoin extremely scarce as an asset. Now, in terms of once you have your Bitcoins, once you have your cryptocurrencies, you typically need to have a way to store them. You typically want to have somewhere you can store these particular cryptocurrencies. And that is where wallets come in. So wallets are basically like a digital keychain. They are tools to help you access your crypto. Now, I'll say in this case, to simplify it, we'll say to help you store and manage your cryptocurrencies. However, we'll see one minor detail shortly. So there are three main types of wallets. Number one, we have software wallets. Software wallets can exist as either, or rather can be accessible from the website, and these are called web wallets. And an example of it is one of those older wallets called Exodus, which was a key Bitcoin wallet. Sorry, on the web wallet, we also have MetaMask. Additionally, we also have desktop wallet, and these are typically downloaded to your computer. In addition, you also have mobile wallets, something you'll be able to see shortly. We'll configure one of the mobile wallets being Bitgate wallet. Other examples are MetaMask and the likes. Phantom wallet, these are also other blockchain specific examples. However, the key advantage with, for instance, Bitgate wallet is the fact that it's a multi-blockchain wallet, which allows you to connect to any blockchain. It doesn't matter which network you have. It can connect to most of the mainstream blockchains. It also has testnets, which allow you to access blockchains prior to getting launched. Now we have the second type of a wallet, which is what we call hardware wallets. So hardware wallets are actually physical devices. They exist like USB devices and they store your crypto offline. So these are the most secure wallets. However, since they are not on hardware wallet, we also call them cold wallets because they are not connected directly to the internet, so they are not hot, so they cannot be accessible that instantly. And that's the key difference here. Now, prior to that, we also had something called paper wallets. Paper wallets were just like, they would hold wallet information like your keys and codes. And they were printed on a paper. It was old school, and at the time, it was effective. However, right now, paper wallets are deprecated simply because desktop wallets do way more than paper wallets would do. Now, let's move on and see something very, very and extremely important. And this is the fact that wallets don't actually store your crypto. They store the keys to your crypto. Think about it as you're given access. You store your crypto is stored somewhere on the blockchain. But for you to prove that you are the owner of this particular crypto, you need to provide something called a private key. And the private key is like your secret PIN. It's used to sign and approve transactions. So do ensure that you keep this key safe. Now, the private key is what interacts with the blockchain to give you access to your cryptocurrencies. Now, we also have a public key. These are like your bank account numbers. But in this case, the public keys are simply your wallet addresses. So this is the information that you can share that is visible to everyone, that you can be able to access, that people can be able to send you funds to. So of importance here is the fact that crypto actually lives on the blockchain, and the wallet is simply a tool that helps you access and manage your crypto. So that's the key difference in this case. Now, we talked earlier about consensus mechanisms. So what are consensus mechanisms? So these are just ways to agree on the blockchain on who to add what. So these ensures that all participants agree on the validity of transactions. So it maintains the security and prevents fraud. So you do remember that we said blockchains exist in a decentralized manner. So how then do people agree in a decentralized manner? And that's where now we have these agreement mechanisms. They can be categorized in two main categories. One is the proof of work mechanism. So in here, miners solve puzzles to actually validate the transactions. So a good example of proof of work blockchain is Bitcoin. So the key factors on proof of work blockchains is the fact that they are highly secure. The key challenges though is the fact that they are energy intensive and slow. Think about it. If 100 students are competing to solve a puzzle, and these 100 students, we call them miners. The first student to solve the puzzle, we allocate them a timestamp that this person solved this at this particular time, and they were able to we were able to now agree that yes, they've given us the puzzle, let's add it and let's verify that this is actually a real puzzle, right? Now once you verify that, everyone agrees that this particular person or this particular miner is the one to add the transaction. So you do realize that what happens then is the other 99 miners, the other people who are trying to solve this puzzle, means that every other work that they had put in is invalidated. And that's the cons of proof of work blockchains. Now, we have another mechanism to do this. And this is called proof of stake mechanism. So ideally, validators stake coins to confirm their transaction. So if you've been on Bitgate, we have something called staking. So what happens here, if you have let's say some Cardano, which is a proof of stake blockchain, you put your stake into one staking pool, and the blockchain selects who to add transactions in a random order. However, the higher the stake that you have, the higher the chances of getting selected as the person to validate the transaction. So what happens behind the scenes is a bunch of people will come in together in a staking pool. So a smart contract, a computer code that is intelligent, that we put together all the funds, and then from putting together those funds, you can be able now to come in and as the blockchain can now select the person to validate the transactions. And that's how proof of stake works. Now, the key pros here is it's very energy efficient because the blockchain selects who to validate the transactions. So that means you don't get to a point where there are transactions, or rather there are simply because there are miners who were not compensated. You will not get to such a point simply because the blockchain has already selected who to add. Now, the key disadvantages is the fact that there's risk of centralization in this model. The more money people have, the more control they have in such a model. And that's where now we go to other formats like the delegated proof of stake, where some elected delegates validate the transactions. So you find specific delegates who you stake your funds and they're able to get selected by the blockchain and they add the transaction. So this is even less decentralized than POS, but it's extremely fast and efficient. Key examples here is EOS and Tron. Then we have other types of blockchains where they are nominated proof of stake. And here nominators back some of the validators. So it helps you with a balance of decentralization, but the process is actually quite complex. The type of blockchain in these categories, Polkadot. We do also have something called POA, Proof of Authority. And these are basically pre-approved validators which will confirm the transactions. These are extremely fast and low energy use. However, there's a lot of centralization. And an example of this is VeChain. Now, the key takeaway here is the fact that each mechanism tries to balance security, decentralization, and efficiency. So each blockchain is out there to try and solve a different type of problem. Now, back to wallets. We do have two other categories of wallets: custodial wallets and non-custodial wallets. Custodial wallets are typically where you give a third party to control your funds. And this is an example of an exchange. In terms of security, it depends on the provider's security. And in terms of recovery for in case you lost your keys, it's actually quite easy to recover because typically exchanges would give you a password to reset. In terms of convenience, they are very user-friendly and fewer technical steps. And on the risk side, there are risks of hacks, freezes, or restrictions. Now, on the non-custodial wallet, you control your own private keys and you're responsible for your own security. So in case of any loss of keys, no one can actually recover the keys. It's only you and only you. So these are more complex, but you get full ownership. And in terms of the risks here, there is risk of losing access if keys are actually lost. Now, the key bottom line here is they are very easy, but you trust a third party. They are for the custodial wallets. For the non-custodial wallets, you get full control, but there is a higher responsibility. So you need to choose wisely what based off your needs. In terms of blockchain use cases, we're looking at use cases on the finance and transaction side. So blockchains can actually be used for remittances, which enable fast and low cost money transfer internationally. On the logistics side, blockchains power supply chain transparency, and which helps track goods and verify authenticity. And on the health and safety side, it helps improve healthcare systems by securely storing and sharing medical data records. We also have other use cases like charitable giving, which makes donations much easier in terms of trackability and transparency. In terms of the decentralization, on the decentralized apps, you can actually run applications without centralized servers. And on the blockchain gaming side, it helps you enable real ownership of digital assets and collectibles. There's also digital governance, where it secures voting and public decision process. Blockchains also are used for digital identity, which helps individuals control and verify their online presence and identities, and smart devices, in other words, IoT devices. And this ensures secure communication between any connected devices. So that's majorly what we'd typically look at in terms of the blockchain side. Marvelous, I don't know if we have any specific questions on the YouTube side, or basically, do you have any specific questions so far? I see Kalechi is also joined us. Maybe we can do an introduction after. Do you have
Right.
any questions
Right.
on your end?
I don't know, my voice is echoing. Okay. So I saw one question here that says, does this have to do with Spaces protocol? Are they are permissionless identity on Bitcoin? Yes, you're muted.
Sorry, does this have to do with Spaces protocol? They are permissionless identity on Bitcoin. Okay, I've not seen Spaces protocol. I need to look at that. But ideally, based off the knowledge, the data we just shared, I do believe it should be easy to actually find that specific data. Marvelous, I think you're still muted.
I think you should mute. I'm hearing myself.
All right.
So I think that's the only question here for now. There are no further questions.
All right. Thank you. I think then in the next part is for us to present and show you how to actually create a wallet. Let me quickly do that. For those of us joining in on the BK Live, 100 6. So on this case, we'll be able to share with you some of the on the web. Okay, perfect. So we can see a device here. Let's put this live. Let's put the device live, and let's go to, for those of us on iOS, you could use the App Store, but we have Bitget and Bitget Wallet. So I'll start with Bitget Wallet. So here, simply download your wallet. So it should be pretty easy. In my case, let it download. So as it downloads, ideally, this is the Bitget Wallet is a non-custodial solution, which allows you to have your own access. So you can be able to Bitget Wallet allows you to have control over what your cryptocurrency holdings look like. However, it's important to note that because of this, especially on the setup, as you'll see, you will be prompted to have your keys here. So we'll quickly get to see how the keys are, how you can be able to create a wallet. This is an uncustodial solution. So once it's installed, simply click on open, and Bitget Wallet will open. Very beautiful interface. You won't find this anywhere else. Extremely nice, easy to work with interface. So in my case, I'll just keep here. Then I'll get to this point where I'll need to set up a wallet. So in my case, this wallet was actually already set up. So I'll quickly delete this and show you how to actually set up the wallet. It's a pretty easy process. All right, let's now get started. Once you open BitGet wallet, you'll come to this interface. You click on start now, you click on create wallet. So now if you're coming in from a different wallet, you could have imported another wallet here by simply inputting either a seed phrase or getting if you had backed up your wallet, you could just simply get your backup from here. You can see in case you had done any wallet. BK wallet also allows you to use what we call hardware. Basically, you can be able to use hardware wallets on BitGet wallet. So you can connect your hardware wallets here by scanning the QR code. Now, in my case, let's start afresh. Let's get to create a wallet. BitGet wallet will ask you to input a 6-digit code. In my case, I'll just do a 6-digit code. The wallet, you can see here, the code actually is only to protect your wallet. It doesn't have anything else. So the wallet looks like this. You can simply click on the deposit. You can also deposit from exchanges. You simply select the network, rather the coin and the network in this case, and you can be able to even deposit directly from BitGet. So it would open up BitGet and you'd be able to send directly on BitGet wallet like that. Super easy, extremely easy to work with. This wallet also supports trading on offline. So you can trade offline here on futures. You can also trade, we do offer swaps, we do offer some on-chain products here. So this one, you don't even need to do your KYC and all that. So your keys are actually on top left here. You can come in here, select a currency that you want to display your assets in. The key thing here, you can also back up your wallet by simply backing up your seed phrase. In our case, now I'm going to delete this wallet, so I'll still show you here. So these are basically your seed phrases. So if anyone has access to these seed phrases, then whatever you have would be automatically theirs. So basically, it's very important that you back up these seed phrases. Now, there are other advanced things here, so on the lock screen and all that, so you can be able to do that. You can also bind your BitGet account by simply clicking on the bind here. So in my case, unfortunately, I won't bind because I've shown you the seed phrases to this wallet. So that's basically the BitGet wallet. So extremely easy to use, amazing interface, and a lot of giveaways inside there. Now I'll go then to the BitGet exchange. So BitGet exchange is now an uncustodial solution. So here, so do remember this BitGet wallet and BitGet exchange. So on the exchange side, you simply click on open and your exchange looks like this. If you're new, you'd need to set up your account afresh. So I'll show you how your account would look like if you're new. Just a quick one. Okay, fine. I'll log out and show you how to do that. So once you download BitGet app, it will look like this. You click on get started, and for those of us who don't have accounts, you simply, okay, the screen is black, unfortunately. So for those of us without accounts, you can simply sign up So I'll go to the sign up page and I'll select an account. You can sign up on Google or anything. So I'll also select a password. So this is simply just like how you use your Facebook. I know you can't see this, but you need to complete a captcha. So once that's done, in my case, I'll simply just log into my account and show you a few things. Perfect. Okay, just a quick one. So once you sign up, you'll go to this homepage here. So you'll need to verify your KYC. So verification is should be pretty easy. So I'll once you verify your KYC, I'll quickly just play a video on how to verify your KYC. Just a quick one. So for this account, you do have to once you create your account, you do have to verify your KYC for you to be able to access and use these products. This is also an extremely important step. An extremely important step that you need to verify your KYC. Now, once you verify your KYC, I'll show you how to set up this. Just a quick one. Okay. All right, I'll play a short video in a while. So I believe we can see here. Oh, okay. This one I have to download it for you. Okay, actually this is perfect.
Which holds your assets, but also allow. Getting started with cryptocurrency doesn't have to be complicated. All you need is a wallet which holds your assets, but also allows you to buy, sell, and trade your crypto. That is where BitGet comes in. You can find it on the Play Store or App Store. Download the BitGet application. Once installed, it's as simple as a username and password. And as you can see, you can even get up to 6,200 USDT in rewards by signing up and completing simple tasks. Enter your email and password, or just link your existing Gmail account, the simplest way to create your account. A verification email is going to be sent to you. Copy and paste the code here. Then you can enable biometrics to make it easy for you to sign in later. This is what the BitGet application looks like. Your next step is to secure your account. With securing options like passkey, Google Authenticator, email, and phone number. These are very essential for your account security. Stay tuned and get to know how you can get started trading easily. Trade smarter with BitGet.
That's majorly in terms of the account setup. So in most of so next week we'll have another follow-up session where we will be able to actually help you out, getting the accounts ready to trade, getting the accounts, fully set up, and actually getting started on the deposits, withdrawals, and the likes. So I see, with that, we've actually come to the end of the session. And as we are here, I'd like to also introduce Kelechi. Kelechi, over to you. A quick introduction on who you are and what you do at BK.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here.
My name is Kulechi.
My name is Kulechi.
I'm the BitGet Africa moderator. I'm in charge of organizing campaign events for the Biggest Africa community. And it's great to be here once again. Shout out to the Biggest Africa team for making this educational session possible. I always look forward to welcome you guys to the Biggest Africa Telegram community. Make sure you're able to join in the link whenever you can. We always host good campaigns for you guys and educational sessions like this. So make sure you always stay updated. There'll be more sessions coming up in the future, and we hope to always share our knowledge with all BitGet products and BitGet services with you. And make sure you're always there to set your reminders to learn and also practice everything that our hosts are always available to teach you. So, everyone, thank you so much. Over to you, Mapende.
You're muted.
Sorry, my bad. So Kalechi will be is our community moderator, and he is available for tagging on the community. We are always happy to in case you do have any further questions outside of what we just highlighted, do ensure to also reach out to Kalechi. So same case, we will also have Kalechi on the training sessions, so do ensure to click on that follow button for you to be able to get up-to-date information. Marvelous, do you have anything you'd like to tell the viewers as we close the session? Marvelous, I believe you're muted.
Okay. Yep. Please mute. Sorry. So hi guys. Hi everyone. I'm echoing. Can you? So hi everyone. So glad to have you all here. I'm very positive that we had a good time here and we learned so much. So we've come to the end of the session today, and we have done quite a lot. There was so much to be learned. We are going to be in case you have any questions or comments about the session, do well to post on the chat, or you send it to our community on Telegram, and we're going to answer you with immediate effect. I think that's pretty much it for now.
All right, thank you so much. For those of us joining in on the Big Africa, we do realize we had a technical glitch and didn't manage to fully stream there. We'll have a follow-up session where this will actually be streamed on Big Africa, live on Big Live. All right, with that said, thank you so much for everyone who managed to join in, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye and have yourself a good evening. All right.